Okay, so this video is going to take you through how to create a three-dimensional sphere. So here's kind of our basic layout, and we're going to be creating highlights and using value to create the illusion of 3D form using oil pastels, okay? Now I'm just gonna throw some examples at you here. There's gonna be a lot of things I'm showing you. So you might choose to turn your sphere into an object, okay? So here's an example of where the sphere has been turned into a tennis ball. Now, here's an example of a football. Now, I know that a football isn't necessarily ball shaped, but more like circular, but it also can work for this activity. Here's an example of where form has been used to start creating a basketball, okay? Now, you might also choose to take a little bit of a different route by using different objects that are sphere shaped. So here I have this example of an orange. We see that the light to dark is happening to create value, to make it look three-dimensional. Same with this little half slice here. So this might be something that you choose to do as well, okay? So you'll have to decide and think about that. Now, within the resources in Google Classroom, you will find that I have this reference sheet for you to kind of help you if you do choose to do a sports sphere. And then there's going to be this pattern inspiration sheet in there too, which we'll talk about later, okay? So, I know there's all of this stuff here, but what I'm going to take you through first is just how to create a general sphere, okay? So I'll speed up that drawing here in just a second. But one of the things, so you can do this on a variety of papers. So some of those papers I showed you were white. Some of them are different colors. It's gonna be totally up to you. I'm gonna show you here on a black one. So I already have my sphere drawn out. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna turn it into yet, but the good thing about this is you can kind of make those decisions as you go. Now, for this entire project, which we haven't even gotten to all the requirements yet, you will want to refer to that oil pastel technique practice sheet that you did. And in it, you need to use a minimum of 3 different oil pastel techniques. So there's a bunch of them on here and you need to use at least 3 of them, okay? So before I speed this up, I'm just gonna go over a couple of things. So when you are picking your oil pastel colors, you want to make sure that you have a light, medium, and dark color. So I'm gonna start with blue. So I have a dark color blue, and I kind of have a medium color blue. Now for my dark color, even darker color, I'm actually going to use black. And then for my lightest color, I'm going to use white. Okay, so this is my range of colors that I'm going to be using to blend together. Now, depending on what colors or what you want your object to be, you might not use white or black. So for instance, if we look at these orange slices here, my light, medium, and dark colors do not include white or black at all. In fact, they kind of include this yellow, this kind of yellow orange, the regular orange, and then red. So you need to come up with a range of colors. So once you've decided that, you're ready to draw and get started. So I'm gonna take you through this quick project now. Okay, I've already drawn my circle, and notice I start by using those pencil lines so I can get the curves of that sphere. I'd recommend doing that before you start using the oil pastels, because it's just gonna help you really get the curve of that shape. So now I am just marking in those colors using the light, medium, dark shades that I picked, and I'm just marking those colors in. You can see that you can really see that black paper through it right now. I'm going to have to keep overlapping using some of that light pressure blending first, and then I'll actually go back in and start using that heavy pressure blending to start blending it together. So you're going to have to create a lot of layers on this and overlap it. So watch here as I'm starting to overlap it a little bit more, those colors are blending together slightly. Don't be surprised as you fill in your sphere if you have to go over it and layer it and blend it together a lot more than what you think you have to. It's going to take some time to kind of build up that color. That's why it's good to start with that light pressure blending and then just keep layering and layering. So after I do the final touches of that layering, you don't have to use baby oil, but I'm using the baby oil on a brush to kind of give it a more painterly look. That's why it looks shiny here. It will dry, so you have to give it some time to dry, and you'll kind of see it starting to dry. But once it is dry, then you can go back over with any of those color details like I'm adding in here for the basketball lines.